Yeah, welcome back to the Career Build Series. This is episode 197, and so we're working on the Ekranoplan still. So I figured we'll, kind of get through this Ekranoplan. And so I'm presently working on trying to XML edit a block so that I can hide some of this. I want to hide some of my fins here on the front. So that was one thing that didn't get completed yet. So I'm going to try to get this set up. So that is, for some reason, not doing what I want. Let's find this. Let's try -13. There we go. All right, good. So I've got my wedge here. So I'll kind of show you. I just did a couple things off screen. Yeah, kind of show you what I did off screen here. So I'm just I shortened up the canards there a little bit. Kind of smoothed out this shape here. Put a beacon on. I'm presently trying to hide these fins, so I made a 13 long 2x wedge here to hide these. So I tried moving them up in the fuselage a little bit, but the issue I ran into was if they're that far out of the water, I can't get the nose out of the water and it caused too much drag and I'll never take off. So I'm going to make like a little bulbous area here trying to get this all set so that I can see if I can't hide this. I'd like to be able to hide my fins. They're sticking out a little bit, which is a little bit gross, but yeah, sticking out a little bit, which I'm not thrilled with. Try to see if I can fix that. Let's start with this and see if this will even work as far as if it's make sure it's not going to cause too much drag. You can also try to cut down the number of fins. So I've got some tricks up my sleeve to try to fix this. So be a little bit of a bulge in the nose to hide those. Let's go ahead and spawn this. Biggest thing is to make sure this still flies properly. If it doesn't fly, then it's not a good decorative element because it ruins its functionality. So throughout this decorating process, I need to keep making sure it works. Because that's going to be what's most important to me is if I do a bunch of decorating and I don't keep testing to make sure that everything's working right, I'm going to end up in a situation where it's not going to function, and then there's no point. So, all right, so that still functions. I actually kind of like the little bulge in the nose. It adds some shapeliness to it. I like that. That's just me trying to steer in third person. It's a little bit, it's almost like I have a trim in here. There we go. It's flying all right now. I don't know. I think I did have a trim in there, and so that was causing me problems. Now it seems like it's flying better. All right, so that continues to work. I kind of like that a little bit. It's not problematic. Those are sticking out, which will drive me nuts. So what I'm going to do here is I think I will recall this. I'm going to move him a little bit, see if I can't get that to still appear better. I like to actually make the belly fatter altogether. So let me see if I can't do that. So let's actually do this. Trying to look at the shape and see what I can do here. So let's try this really quick. I may not need all of these fins. So let's do a test. Let's save this. Make sure we save. We'll save the most recent one. Let's go ahead and delete out the center section here. And I'm just going to delete these for right now. Delete all the, I don't want to do that. Undo, undo, undo. Let's get rid of symmetry. See if I can't do it with one set of fins. If I can do it with one set of fins, I can kind of get rid of that being a problem. All right, so let's try this. That's going to cut the number of fins in half, but it's I can then more easily conceal some stuff. Because when I raised them up one, I ended up not being able to get out of the water. It's just too much drag. I couldn't lift the nose up. I couldn't get up on plane, so. Okay, so that's still fine. Let's keep playing with this. A little bit testing. That's going to be a hair annoying, but it's actually not too bad. Let me, I was going to do a bunch of testing, but let's see, let's try something else. So let's leave these in here because what I want to do is I want to add some bulbosity to the bottom here. And if I can, I want to kind of round out the bottom a little bit here. Let me try this. Maybe all the way up to here, I think. I'm going to try something. I want to try to fatten up the bottom here and see how I like that. And so I'm going to put these in as just kind of decoration because I also want to raise that up a little bit. And then I will see if it functions, then I know I can work with it. If it doesn't function, you know, I kind of have to move on from this idea. This will give me a little bit more fuel. I think we'll fix the shape a little, or keep the shape nice a little bit more. All right, so let's try this again. Let's look at the shape. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. I want to kind of fatten up these wing roots a little bit. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it. So let me go ahead and fatten up these wing roots. You know, it looks like these wings are just tacked on. Often you'll see they have some shapes that kind of integrate them a little bit better. So I kind of want to integrate this to the body a little bit more. And so a lot of this will add drag, and so I have to really be cautious of adding drag, and so that's why I'm testing it now, is if it makes it so that my vehicle doesn't work, I have to then kind of, you know, call that off. You know, one of the benefits is by adding a little bit of shape here, I can actually add a little shape here. I actually, by leaving them hollow, I add a bunch of buoyancy. So, you know, even though I'm adding drag, I'm also adding buoyancy. So you could end up with a win scenario here where we counteract the drag with buoyancy. So it's a good idea to, you know, like I did, to make sure I have a backup save in case I screw this all up. You can just go revert the save. I think we want to do 1x4 pyramid here. And then I think I want to go into 2x4 here maybe. Yeah, see, this runs into problems here where I'm going from 1x2s to that. That's not great. So what I could do probably is put this there. Ah, come on. Systems-wise, we're doing pretty well. You know, it seems pretty bare bones at the moment, but this should step up it a little bit here. Yeah, this is kind of being a pain right now, trying to fix this up. There we go. All right. Just kind of fattening this up here. I'm going to add some 1x wedges. I'm just trying to get my buoyancy up. I'm adding a bunch of drag. Yep. Adding a bunch of drag here, so I need to be careful of this. But I can go back and fix that. Actually, I'm going to go worst case scenario, and then I'll see what it looks like. All right, so I like that. That adds a little bit more. It doesn't look like things are just stuck on. It looks like they're kind of purpose built, and I want that. They should look like they integrate. That's often where you have a lot of your mechanical elements. That needs to be flat there. Just trying to add kind of some points of interest on here. Doing all this, I could end up in a situation where I've added so much drag that I can't get out of the water again. So that's why, it's super important to keep checking on this stuff and make sure I'm not screwing it up as I make little detailing choices. And now this gives me kind of a natural endpoint, I think. This shape's going to be weird here. See, it's off center by 1, so what I need to do is forget that for now and try to finish this properly here. So, where are we at here? There we go. All right, so I want to test this new belly out once I get it done. That way I can tell if it's going to cause problems. This will increase my fuel capacity a little. I think we have the ability to do that. You know, I would like to drop that roof back down. This here is kind of a mess in there. I could even move the tail forward 2 blocks. I might screw with that at some point. Move the tail forward 2 blocks. We'll see. All right, let's take this for a test. I added a bunch of drag, so let's see if this takes off. I like the roots, the wing root better now. Like this shape better. So let's test it. Again, most important thing to me is function. Are we underwater? How low are we in the water now? Yeah, I added a bunch of mass and I didn't counteract it with any buoyancy, so I may have put some holes in the wing too. So let me get a look. So one thing is to put it on merge with the red coloration. You can really see if you punched any holes in. So like this. Oh, you know what it is? See this here? That's my fuel tank. I'm filling the wings with fuel now. So I'm just filling the wings with fuel, which is no bueno. So let's go in the back. Yeah, so that's all it was. I was filling the wings with fuel. So the wings are supposed to be a big center of buoyancy, and I just added a ton of mass and fuel weight in there. So we're sitting lower in the water, but I'm going to be able to correct that with, you know, a lot of that I can add air in there. So again, I just want to make sure this works. This is the kind of worst case scenario. I've added a bunch of mass. I didn't add any extra buoyancy. And so as long as we can get out of the water, you know, what I do from then on will be better. Let me make sure I don't have engines running. Okay, I want to make sure infinite fuel's off. So this could be a problem. If I was only getting out of the water because of infinite fuel. So let's turn infinite fuel on, see what I get. I'm doing like 44 miles an hour. 44 knots. Okay, so it's mostly the drag issue. I added a ton of drag here. And I also took out a ton of fins. So let's go like this. It could be just because I took out so many fins. If you remember, I cut my fin number in like half, so add some fins back in. Yeah, so we went to single stack of fins. So what I want to do is let's go selection grid there. Let's copy this. Let's move a set back like so. All right. And we need to hook all these up. So what are these hooked to here? Right there. So this sort of thing, you need a ton of fins to make it work, but so we're doubling up the number of fins back to where they were. That doesn't surprise me as I cut the fins way out, plus added a bunch of drag, so there's probably very little chance that was going to, you know, be able to come out of the water without all the fins that I already, you know, proved that I needed. Take infinite fuel off. Again, I don't want this to work with, you know, a ton of cheating and then when I need it to work, it doesn't, you know? So what speed am I getting up to? Still having a drag issue, so a lot of that added a ton of drag. So right now I'm not able to overcome that. Make sure these fins seem to be working. Fins are pitched up. They're pitched up, yeah, so. So yeah, right now I am causing myself problems. I do like my new wing roots, but not at the cost of not being able to get this out of the water. So let's go ahead and load in the old one. All right, so this is the old one that worked. Has the double fins. So let's leave these in for now. Let's leave it like, see, I want to hide these though, that's the issue. Yeah, that's the issue I'm having now, is I want to be able to hide these. How to do. The fins need to be sticking in the water enough to help me out. I don't like them clipping through, so I have to kind of make a decision on that, how I'm going to fix that. Can't really hide those like that. Yeah, this is kind of a pain. I want to be able to hide these. Let's leave it like this for now. Let's get this to the point where I can use it in the career build series, and then we'll work from there. So let's go ahead and let's work on our door. Center of gravity is way too far back. It's kind of helpful to have it back there, but let's see. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3. So right about here maybe. So let's try to get a custom door in here. And it's going to be there. So this is going to be a tiny little door. This roof line is a pain right there to work with. Could put a regular hatch in there. I'd rather not, but let's see how I have to do this. I'm just going to try to build this out here, and then I'll try to fix it. Okay, I didn't mean to launch it. All right, let's cut this, move it up 1 or 2. Start building our door frame. Yeah, this is where this being as small as it is kind of a pain. I need door frame edge. Let's get it right where it's supposed to be here. There we go. Need the lock. Again, one of the fears is coming into this where start doing some of these design elements and or decorations and end up ruining the characteristics that make this actually work. So that's something I can't do. I really would kind of like a proper sized door, but so that's about the smallest door I can get in there. Where's the floor? Floor's there. Gonna have an idea. I'm trying to get this kind of wrapped up, and then I can decide what I'm gonna do here. Why will that not sit there? Why won't? Oh, it's because it has to go there. Ugh, okay. All right. Should have noticed that before, but I just did not. All right, whatever. This is being annoying to me. Yeah, I probably should have built this around the door, but I wanted the size that I wanted, so that's kind of is what it is. All right, so this is going to be the smallest door that I can get in there probably. Let's see what I can do. So one thought I had was inverting the door. Come on, let me copy everything, you ding dong. Being annoying today. It just doesn't want to do what I want to do. Okay, let's cut this. Let's invert it. Let's go down. We need to figure where the floor is here. So that is the floor there. So the wings are there. Okay. Scrapping this idea. Let's just go with a hatch. It's not my favorite, but it will. I know it will work. So that's kind of what I want at this point. Not ideal. What are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tall. Yeah, not ideal, but we'll make it work. Yeah, on the next one that I build bigger, that will be easier to do some of these things like doors and stuff. This is kind of a small version, so let's just make sure we can get in and out all right. Wait for it to settle before I go in. Okay. All right, yeah, that works. Not ideal, not how I really like it, but and if I put a step there, we can get out, so. Not my favorite, but that'll work. And this will allow us to easily get out. All right. Let's do. Definitely not. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to do that much because that's gonna screw up windows and stuff. Let's add the roof just to double check, but I doubt that's how I want it. That rounds out nicely, that's the problem. You can put windows low in here. Let's see what it looks like to me if I put in 1 wedges in here. Definitely make it more spacious. A little bit abrupt stop, but come on, get out of there, you. That's not bad. I like that roof line. That will work. I can put some windows in. All right, so that's kind of that. This is annoying me at the moment, but I'll work on that later. Don't have any really good thoughts on how to fix that. Yeah, don't have any ideas on that right now. All right, so let's work on a wing root. I definitely wanted that wing root fixed there, so let's. Again, then I have to test it to make sure it works. So I just don't want to re-engineer all the flight mechanics. I kind of want that done. I want to get this in the career build series so I can play with it. All right, so the other thing I can do too to help me a little bit is take some mass out of this, but work on that in a little bit here. All right, that's a good wing root there. What's that? That's floor of the fuel tank. Okay. So just trying to get as much air ballast in this as possible so I'm not adding a ton of weight when I add these little things. So that's going to help there. A little tedious, switching things over to wedges, but this is a good way to keep the weight down, increase the air volume. Okay, and is there any way I can integrate that? No. Okay, that's fine. All right, so that's kind of done. What the hell did I just do? Deleted out the block that I wanted in there. All right. That's the wing root there. Can I put in a... No, probably not. Okay. A little bit of a wing root in there. Not too bad. Might redesign it later. I don't want to get too much into design here. I want to keep this flying and I want to get this ready to use in the series. So let's focus on that instead of me getting distracted. I keep getting distracted with trying to do some design elements. I want to get this in the build series and working. So let's try to stick to having a goal, and that goal will be get this actually in the build series and working. So let's do that. And we'll focus on that. All right, there we go. So we'll start putting in elements like nav lights. I want to get rid of the cormorant and get it out of this build area. And when I hide microcontrollers, a little bit of paint, these things will get it so it's ready to get in the career build series where it's actually, we're using it for missions, because this is going to be a good rescue mission craft too. You know, it's going to be able to fly out to rescues really fast and do its work. So I want that. And then these are connected. So all this stuff like lights and everything is connected to logic. It's nice and convenient that it's already connected to logic, because then I can just move it on to the new build and I don't have to reconnect it. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, it's often a lot easier if you have some builds already built to, you know, to just like do what I'm doing here, put the cormorant behind this and then move stuff and then delete out what you don't want. And then it's much easier to kind of get some builds done. Trying to see exactly. I think it was right there. Let me see. Yep, it's right there. All right, good. So that's good. I want to try to get, let's focus on getting the cormorant out of here. So what else do I have that I don't need? This is strobes, so we need strobes. So we have 2 strobes. They're going to go next to the nav lights. One on the other side. So I did a test, I think, with infinite fuel off, and it worked fine. So the engine was powerful enough. Definitely can still make that engine more powerful if we need to, without problem. All right, let's check any connections that I have. What are these? These are this guy's PFD. Sensor distance down. So I think that's just a distance sensor. That's a distance sensor. So I have a distance sensor already on the build. So what I want to do is take this and change it out for this distance sensor. Okay. What is that? That is a fluid meter. I don't do that system anymore, so I don't need it. All right. Heater, let's move the heater over. That way it's already connected. A lot of people overestimate how much you need for heating. Put it in perspective, my Damon 2111, which is 22 meters long, has 1 heater. That's it. So you don't need a ton of heating. I'm just going to stick it, you know, especially if you put it in the middle of the build, which, you know, stick in the fuel tanks, which of course is not realistic, but stick in the fuel tanks. You know, this is going to be more than enough heat for the entire craft. You know, if you want to do them decoration, you know, that's one thing, but it's just, you know, what you actually need. You don't need that much heating, so, which is a good thing. All right, what is this? That is gear, so I don't need gear. So that, none of this gear stuff I need. Fins, I don't need the fins. That's can go. All right. See what else I'm running here systems wise. So here's my transponder needs to go. Put this up here on the all right, so now we have transponder locators all set up. Let's keep looking. What is that? That's hardpoint connector. What is this one though? That's I'm seeing something here. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Oh, okay, that is the hardpoint connector. Okay. It's confusing me. So Here's the transponder sender. Is that actually connected to anything? It is. Okay, that's part of the transponder system. Let's cut that. Can't see where I'm at here. I think it was already lined up and I moved it. All right, so I'm not setting clear goals, which is hurting me. So now I'm trying to set some clear goals of things like actually getting this set up right. What I'm going to do already, I know I've already changed my mind, but those are going. And the reason I'm doing that is I have automatic build system in here. If you saw me build the Cormorant, you would have seen that I have this set up so that if water goes inside, it will automatically close the doors, or in this case, the door. And that makes it so that as water gets in there, it will shut and then pump. I think I'm going to actually switch this over to a single door. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's kill symmetry. Especially that's going to take out, it's going to help me with some of the space there for, you know, I can't really walk around too much. There's two staircases there, so that's better. And then I'm going to put all the build system in here. So this will automatically pump out when if I get water in. So it automatically shuts the door. It automatically pumps out. And so, and then that just needs a pump out. Okay, cut that. So this is a good system to have just because it's in an emergency, you know, it keeps you from essentially swamping and sinking your vehicle. It allows you to very quickly and easily pump out. So I'm going to put it in the tail, I think. So let's put it here for now. Actually, I can go right through the wall. That's fine. There we go. Also adds a little bit of interest of like, what is that thing? So, but it's definitely convenient because it automatically closes the door. So often I'll forget to close the door as I get out of one of my amphibious vehicles, and then you end up in a situation where you know you get water in, and if you're not quick enough to shut the door, which often you're trying to dance around to shut the door, you'll end up in a situation where you're swamping the vehicle and then it sinks, and now you're in real trouble where you know by doing it this way it makes it so that you don't have to worry about shutting your door. It automatically does it for you. There we go. All right, so that also integrates the step a little bit better there, so that's good. All right, so that's coming along. I don't know if my build system's already hooked in, but I will check it. So we have a backup battery here. Where is that being commanded by? What is this battery going to? That's the question. Battery. I thought I put a battery in here. I did. But I need to connect it. So I'm going to connect the battery to here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Battery right there. Okay, that's better. So this battery can actually be deleted. I don't need that there. See what else I need here. Starting to get to the point where this is where I have everything I need, which is good. That's door. That's for the upper door. That's fine. That's fine. What's this? Temperature probe needs to go. Okay, we'll grab that. And we'll treat it like a... trying to kind of treat this like, you know, you'd have to make sure these don't get wet. You'd blow a ton of water in them. So I'm trying to put them up higher than you'd normally put them. Okay, so that's good. That's now in. So I'm kind of watching. You see how I have lines going up here. Some of these are running the engine because it still has them running the engine. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of take the hatchet to the engine, and that will get rid of most of those connections. All the control surfaces will show connections over here, and so that will help me get figure out what can go, what needs to stay. And so we'll just delete all the engine out here, and that way most of those connections will go, and any connections that are still hanging back and touching the cormorant I know are necessary, and anything that's not, it's not necessary. So see, that took care of a ton of connections because we're just running the engine. That is the door, that is gearboxes. What was that for? Gearbox. Don't know what that was about. Fluid meters. That's fluid for the tanks. So these are just, I'll actually steal these right now. These are just, they're reading my tanks and they're adding my two tanks together. So I'll just do two tanks when I split the tanks up. I'll actually do that right now. So symmetry's on. Is symmetry on? Symmetry's on. Why is it not showing it? I don't know. What is this thing doing? There we go. Did I accidentally move the symmetry plane? No. Okay. All right, symmetry plane's back in. All right, so I'm going to try to figure the 50% mark of this fuel tank out, and we'll split it. So let's do pink blocks. Let's do them along the wall just to see the length of the fuel tank. So we're talking 79. Okay. So was it? So 40. Find 40 here. All right, about there. Okay, that's the center part of the tank. All right, so I'm just putting a baffle in. That way the fuel can't run all the way to the front and put too much weight in the nose that I can't counteract with control surfaces. So that's the only reason I'm splitting the tanks. That will also give me forward tank and rear tank. So we have, that one is in that tank. This here, these, what's this? Let me make sure one of them's the fluid meter and the other one is. So this is the fluid meter, so that can go. This one is the spawner. Okay. All right, and so we need the other meter from this side. It's nice ripping it apart just because I can see it now more easily. So like this is now easy to grab. And so this one just needs to go on the back tank. And so that's our two transport tanks. So again, this, part of this thing's job is to transport fuel is kind of, oh, we're running out of fuel. We need fuel back in our base. Let's go and run some fuel out to it. But it's, it's also we'll be able to do rescues. What is this here? Okay, that's heater and that I need. Okay. So this here, I need to run a line to the front tank. I'm trying to think if I do that or do an equalizer. I think I'll do an equalizer. And so what I mean by that is I'll show you here. So, do I do that or not? No, I want a central kind of. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to end up filling my tanks when I'm doing fuel runs, but also how I'm going to drain the tanks into the engines. So kind of just thinking out loud for that. So let's see. I'm going to plumb up these tanks here. Can I run a straight shot? I can't. Okay, that's fine. And so at some point I'm going to put refueling pipes because remember this is going to be a storage tank as well. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. All right, so this will run to here. I moved my windows so I have stuff blocking the bottom so you guys can see. Looks like you can see my bottom row. I can't see my bottom row very well, so I end up having blocking it with something, and I'm too lazy to fix it right now. So, all right, so there are my 2 tanks, and so next we need a refueling system here. So, I think how I want to do that. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Let's not overcomplicate it. Yeah, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just put a hose anchor here. All right, so there's a hose anchor there, and then I'm going to cut into that. Where are we here? You go down further. So right here. All right, so this is going to be a very simple way to fill this up. And I could do valves and stuff later if I need them. If I don't need them, that would be helpful. All right, so we're going to be able to stick our diesel hose there. It will fill both these tanks, and then the motor will draw from both tanks. So that should take care of that. Let's keep yanking some connections off. What is this? Compass ball. So I want a compass ball in the new plane. Always want a backup compass. You know, especially legally, you need that stuff, and I like to kind of simulate some of that stuff. So. All right, so that's in. Keep checking. We only have 2 connections left. That is buzzer. That is a warning buzzer, so we want that. Nope. Where you at, warning buzzer? Where the hell are you? There you are. Okay, let's see if I can see it. There it is. Behind this. As this just has to go somewhere in the cockpit. We have plenty of overhead space in here. So I'm just for now, I'm going to throw it on the floor, and then when I kind of figure my cockpit out, like you see how Katydid is still not out, and Katydid I'm still working on. You know, these are the sort of things that I can do over the episodes as I find out how it really is going to perform. I can decide if I want to change something. What's that? I don't know why I have a gearbox switch here. What is this going to? Why would I have it disconnected to a gearing system? I don't know. Because I never gear my... Oh, it was for testing. Okay. So right now, as you can see, that was the only connection we had left. We have that. This is just steering. But we're ready to delete all of the Cormorant out. So thank you, Cormorant, for your service. You helped us out a lot to skip tons and tons of steps that I would have had to do if I built all this from scratch, which I don't have any time for that. So definitely it makes it easier having these sorts of, you know, once you get a good sea vehicle going, once, you know, seaplane going, once you get a good helicopter going, a couple of types of helicopters like coax or you know, standard, it makes it so much easier to then kind of piggyback on them and get what you need. So let's go ahead, let's do a flight test. I want to make sure this still flies. I think we'll call that an episode. Made some good progress. Got rid of Katie. All right, got rid of the cormorant because we did everything we needed to. So, infinite electricity. It is okay. So that's has a connection issue. All right. That's not too claustrophobic. A little bit, but again, I kind of want this to be a small plane. I don't want this to be overly large. Could use some more buoyancy. I don't know why we're sitting so low in the water, but yeah, I can work on that. Just want to make sure we can still take off. Those are the main things. If I can't, I need to kind of take a step back and fix that problem. So let's put our altitude in of 20 feet. Make sure it's running properly. 162 knots, we're still going plenty fast. So by changing some things, I had enough drag that we can't get up to 80 knots for rotation, but we're still able to get up to 60 something, which gets us out of the water, which is fine. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to end it there. Really good work on this. Probably going to continue with this. I know it's been a lot of videos on this, but this is getting to the point where we can get it in the series and use it, and so it's getting close, and so I don't like to just leave it and not have it. So again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.